Hi, thank you for joining me today. My name is Emily Davis, and I visited two primary schools in Sydney and observed the different kinds of behaviours, teaching methods, and the overall environment. This video will present the observational research of learning environments and processes of two contrasting students from two schools that I visited. This video will examine the various teaching methodologies of the environment and the pedagogy of the teacher, similarities and differences between the schools and how they impacted their behaviour and focus on learning. Meadowbank Primary School is located in Sydney's northern suburbs and was within the category of being middle class. The second school that I visited was located in the inner west of Sydney, Dulwich Hill Primary. It is crucial for teachers to allow students to learn with peers, as this boosts engagement through active teaching and builds critical communication skills with others as they learn to cooperate and solve problems together. Theorist Vygotsky believed children learn best through social interaction. His theory of social constructivism explains that learning occurs when children collaborate with a more knowledgeable other, known as an MKO. Research by Park and Lee found that children working with socially skilled peers showed greater improvement in perspective taking and learning outcomes than children working alone. I noticed teachers utilizing these strategies in order to demonstrate the task and to then assist the students in their learning. For example, at Dulwich Hill Primary School, the teacher allowed peer work, which creates opportunities for children to learn through observation and communication. A student from this school had the preference of working as a team with peers and was taking the leader role by guiding her group in the activity that was being completed. Albert Bandura's social learning theory explains that children learn behaviors, language, and new skills by observing and imitating those around them. The behavioralism learning theory is linked to B.F. Skinner, who believed learning occurs through reinforcement and consequences within a classroom environment. Teachers may use praise, rewards, or positive reinforcement to encourage appropriate behaviors and support student learning. At Meadowbank Primary School, I noticed that the above learning theory seemed to support engagement for a child. For example, after completing a page in her spelling book, the teacher used elements of the behaviorist teaching style with praise, which aligns with the theorist Skinner. Praise was used to encourage and reassure the student, which increases motivation and builds overall confidence. The humanist approach focuses on the child and their personal growth, emotional well-being, and their individual needs. Abraham Maslow is strongly linked to the humanist theory through his hierarchy of needs, which he then explains that children need their basic and emotional needs met before effective learning can occur. Research has shown that when students' social and emotional needs are supported, engagement and learning outcomes can improve. For example, during my site visit at Dulwich Hill Primary School, there was a child who suffers from autism and therefore required extra attention and support in order to fulfill his academic and personal needs. There was an additional support teacher in the classroom to provide a more focused and one-on-one support for this child. The way that this teacher showed elements of the humanistic learning approach was through fostering a calm and supportive relationship with the child by demonstrating patience and understanding. This was done by the classroom environment having a calm corner, which involved an area with cushions, blankets, sensory toys, and headphones for those who need time to regulate emotions in order to then refocus on the work at hand and continue to learn. The final result of these teaching methods used on the students had a positive outcome, as there was a wide variety of different methodologies depending on the type of classroom environment as well as the individual students. The main difference between the two schools that stood out to me was the layout and organization of different classrooms. One school had a very structured arrangement, which involves separated desks, which promotes explicit teaching for maintaining focus with fewer distractions. In comparison to this, the other classroom had a very open plan, which was laid out with tables in groups of 4 to encourage students to work collaboratively and share discussion points. Overall, the effect of these teaching strategies was successful, as the students were responding to the methods that worked for them. As a teacher, it is important to ensure you have strong classroom rules, expectations, and repercussions to behavior, as this reinforces boundaries and engages positively within the learning environment. In conclusion, both of these learning environments were conductive, as it promoted learning through enabling students to feel confident and supported. Allowing students to work collaboratively positively reinforces supportive relationships and allows children to learn to their full potential, as stated by Vygotsky. The use of the behavioralism approach was effective in these classroom environments, as Skinner stated that through reinforcement and consequences, learning occurs more effectively and efficiently. Maslow's humanistic approach focuses on the emotional well-being and the personal growth of students within a classroom setting.